Chief Minister Conrad Sangma on Wednesday told the House on the fourth day of the autumn session of the State Assembly that the process of survey for demarcation is underway for the 6 areas of difference in the first phase. Sangma was replying to a question raised by Nongpoh MLA Mayralborn Syiem during the question hour on the status of the border talks with Assam, the status of the MOU of the first phase, and the plan of the government to go ahead with the second phase.
Sir, the border talks with the government of Assam has reached the second phase to resolve the remaining 6 areas of differences. 52B, sir, the process of survey for the purpose of demarcation of borders is underway. C, sir, the second phase of talks with the government of Assam has already commenced on 21st of August 2022.
To a question about whether the government will make any attempt to revisit and review the MOU, the CM told the House that the MOU was signed in the presence of the Union Home Minister, hence the question of revisiting the border pact does not arise.
So the MOU and the discussions and the final outcome that came was based on multiple factors. Of course, we looked at the past records, we looked at all the aspects of the 6th schedule and the original maps, the traditional maps that were there. All those areas were discussed. Second, sir, we went into aspects of the public opinion. So we had large public hearings that took place. And apart from that, we also looked at contiguous areas. So we looked at the fact that if the different villages are already way into Assam and or way into Meghalaya, and the demands and the actual logistics don't allow that contiguity to follow. Those were factors that were there. Number 4, we also looked at the overall aspect of giving proper administration to those areas. There were multiple factors that we looked into. So it was not that it was basically only the decision of what the regional committees came in. But the regional committees' reports were very important, simply because of the fact that they contained the most important aspect, which is the people's will. So the question of revisiting the MOU does not arise. The first MOU that has been signed, that is signed in the presence of the Honorable Home Minister of Government of India, and the question of going into and reviewing that does not arise.
Replying to a question on whether the government will try to get back some of the villages given to Assam, Sangma said a maximum of the villages in the disputed areas have come to Meghalaya, and the ones that were not were because people of those areas wanted to go to Assam. He said that there were villages that were not even mentioned in the documents and maps submitted by Meghalaya in 2011, and since the discussion revolved only around the areas and the villages mentioned in the list, it was difficult to adjust or freshly include them, as it wouldn't be easy to convince Assam to move away from the 2011 report.
So the villages left out, as being mentioned by the Honourable Member, it is very important to, at least in this House, to discuss. When we say left out, what does the exact definition of left out mean? And number 2, which are these villages that we are talking about? Because, sir, if there are demands from people which have been there for villages which were never in the discussion, which were never in the disputed areas originally, and which are way inside the boundaries of Assam and are not as per the demarcated areas of differences, which the map that we had submitted in 2011-12. Saying that we're leaving them out would be not correct, at least on the floor of the House. Because those areas were never in the consideration. They were never in Meghalaya, sir. In the sense, they were never in the disputed area. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. They were never in the disputed area. And hence, today, some villages, because of the talks that have started, are today saying that they would also want to be in Meghalaya. Hence, for us to now add them into the list is highly, very difficult.
To a supplementary question raised by Umroi MLA George Lingdo on contrasting replies from the Chief Minister regarding one of the deciding factors for the inclusion of villages in the list, Sangma said that all the villages that were included in the list and the map of 2011 were discussed and not beyond that, as it would be difficult for Meghalaya to justify a major change in the 2011 report.
It's not very simple. A document has been submitted, maps have been drawn, villages have been named, number of villages have been mentioned out there. Today, when we go to discuss this with Government of Assam, if we change that, Government of Assam will ask us, well, you gave us this list in 2011, suddenly what happened? How we come here with a new demand is there? So it becomes difficult for us to justify a major change. But where it's possible, sir, of course, we try to discuss and try to adjust. That might be the best word I can use. We try to adjust. But moving away from the major document that has been submitted in 2011-12 would be very difficult.